Well, I'm live up here at the shop, sitting in my truck. Uh, Sitting in my truck because it's a little bit cool, and I just didn't feel like, I don't know, I felt like changing things up here a little bit. My truck's comfortable. I pulled it up in the inside the shop here a little bit so I can get full Wi-Fi, so the Wi-Fi signal will be good. But thought I'd just shake it up and do it a little bit different this morning and see what it looked like and everything. So I hope everybody will jump in here and we'll get started. See if some people can. Uh, hey Zach, how are you this morning down under? Well, actually, I guess how this evening for you. It'll be nighttime for you and everything. It's early morning for us here in the Carolinas. A little bit nippy and cool this morning. We had an inch of rain last night. We've had a wet, cool start to, well, I guess the end of spring. Really, it's not summer yet, but you always feel like when you get to the 1st of June that it's summertime, and it's really not. Hey, that's Ricky, isn't it? Outcast Raw. That's Ricky, isn't it? Uh, yeah. Um, yeah, I'm sitting up here just enjoying the relaxation of the. Hey, Jamie, how are you? Yeah, I'm just relaxing. My truck's comfortable, good leather seats and everything else, sort of like a recliner a little bit. So I usually sit uh, out here in the shop in a little plastic chair that's not that comfortable, and my leather seats that are reclining and everything else. And I was coming up the road and I said, shoot, I'll just pull inside my shop, just use the laptop from there. And, yeah, I'm in my Ford diesel. Uh, Most people can recognize a Ford interior here. And, it's nice and comfortable. And like I said, it was a little bit cool this morning, and my truck's, not is not open and airy like that. I've got the windows cracked here a little bit, but I don't. I'm just enjoying sitting here and relaxing. You can see my pasture behind me back there, maybe a little bit, but it's just a little bit different setup here this morning, and thought I would do things just a little bit different. I can sit here and read and see everything good and close. I can see all the comments good and close. A lot of times I struggle with my old eyes seeing the chat comments sometimes because I am getting a little bit of age on me, and unfortunately, well, I guess fortunately, not unfortunately, fortunately, I'll have another birthday and about see what's the day, the 5th, 4th, June 4th, uh, in about 24 days. Well, the tree harvesting is going good. I'm actually going to put a video up. Barbara and I went down. It's right behind us. Here's where it is. Um, we rode over there in the Toolcat. Uh, that's my 4x4. All a little like a skid steer. Only she and I both can get in it. It's a 2-seater, and we went over there and oh yeah, I'm still a young man. Yeah, I'll be 72. I'll be 72 my birthday. Uh, I know I don't look at guys. I tell guys that, and they say, "Oh, you don't look 72." Well, it's all a number. It's a number, but unfortunately, the number will creep up on you, and you'll you'll get to feeling old once you bend over to try to get something. You try to walk to do different things. So take care of your health. That's for one thing. That's for sure. I tell everybody take care of your health because when you do get older, you go, wow, I wish I could still do that. I wish I could still, uh, you know, climb in and out of equipment good. And I mean, I can still get in and out of equipment pretty good. I'm a little more cautious than I used to be. I mean, it used to be I was like everybody else. I was a terror. I used to jump out of tractor trailer trucks, and we had cab over trucks at Carolina Freight, and I would just swing out of those like a monkey. I had one guy tell me that one time, said, "You're like a little monkey out here. You grab those handles and swing in and out of these trucks." And he said, "You'll pay for that one day." And he was right. My knees and you feel soreness that was probably brought on because of foolish things like that. But that's life. That's what happens. And uh, so everybody, don't smoke, don't drink, take care of your body, because once you get older and you want to have all the faculties that you can get, you won't have them. So, uh, you need to, everybody needs to take care of their body as good as they possibly can. And it'll pay off. It'll pay off in the long run and that sort of stuff. I'm fortunate. A lot of people don't even make it to 72. I haven't made it to 72 yet, but I hope I can make another 24 days and say that I've made it to 72. My father unfortunately passed away at 65, and my younger brother, I lost him at 67. So uh, it is something that you can, when you get up to this age and you think of your mortality and everything. I don't continually think of it. I occasionally think of it. I've lived a good life, so if I do pass on tomorrow, I can be happy with my life for what it's been, and my accomplishments, or whatever you want to say. I mean, I feel good about everything. But like I said, everybody needs to take care of your health and everything. But for us now, I was going to talk about the weather a little bit. We've had a cool weather front come through again last night. Dropped about a little over an inch of rain, and we're experiencing colder than normal weather for this time of year, and wetter than normal weather, which is sort of good for the crops. And I mean, it's not cold, it's just cooler. I mean, you don't want to get out in your backyard pool if you had one right now, because it's kind of cool. Uh, and it may uh, get you a little bit if you're out baling hay or whatever. You have to kind of watch your days for the dry days, because we've had few dry days, and that's one thing about my wood. Jamie was asking about that. The loggers going in and out have actually got their trucks stuck back there a couple times. They've had a couple of trucks they've got stuck and had to get the skidder out there to push them on. So they've kind of got stuck in my field a little bit. I don't want to tear up the field. That's the thing for sure. But it is what it is. I mean, they're going pretty careful about that. They're going to the outside perimeter, so I won't have to re-sow, but a little bit of grass out there. And I think we've got that. We've got some old hay we can roll out and put some grass seed down, and hopefully, you know, cover that up and make something out of it. We'll see. I mean, it shouldn't be that much, and then once we do that, it's not gonna be that hard to I think get it to bounce back, because we've got the right weather right now to let it bounce back. We'll see. We'll see. But the grass is still all the wet weather is really helping the grass get back up there real quick. Uh, I think we'll be able to get another cutting on our hay probably just in I'd say 6 weeks. It looks like the way it's growing, 6 or 8 weeks the way it's growing right now. We'll be able to get another cutting, and I'd say end of July, 1st of August, we can get another good cutting for hay. So that's a good thing. We may get 3 cuttings this year. We got 90 bales of hay. That's what we got out of the yield on this, which wasn't too bad. I think it's about 28 acres or something like that. 20 something acres, maybe 30. A lot of rolling hills back here, but with 90 bales, 90 nice looking bales. I thought round bales. I thought that was pretty good yield for that amount of acreage and everything. And like I said, it is what it is. But we're enjoying it and everything. We're doing things like that down here on the farm, and I'm gonna like I said, I've got some video that I shot yesterday. Barb and I rode out to where they're doing the forestry work, and I'm gonna probably venture out there and actually get them doing some of the work and put that all on the video. A nice group of guys, Chapman brothers, out of Morganton, North Carolina. That's who's doing the logging, and they're doing as loggers go. And I've seen some loggers come in and be really destructive. These loggers are doing a good, clean job and not tearing up my property that much. And that's what you gotta count on. You want them to be respective of your property, and so far they have been. And once they get that done, we got about 15 or 20 acres or 18 acres, something like that. It's in trees, in the pines. We got some pines and some hardwood in there. They're going to clear cut that, and then we're going to spray it and then resow it. And hopefully, my son and grandson and my daughter, they'll be able to reap the benefits in 15, 20 years from now. I kind of would be too old if I make it to reap the benefit. I doubt I'll be around. If 20 years from now, I'd be 92. I don't know if I'll make 92. It's not likely, I don't think. But if I am, I'll cut some more down in 20 years from now. But right now, I'm sowing it for the future is what I'm doing. I'm sowing it for the future, and hopefully we'll be able to do something with it then, and that sort of stuff. And that's what you do on these farms. I mean, I've got my family farm here, and I want to maintain it. I'm not trying to get rich off of it. I like the land. I like working the land. I'm not using it as a money making venture. Although, if there's money to be made, I'm going to make it. A little bit of hay here and there, and little, like I said, the harvesting the wood. And I don't want to rent it out. We used to, when the family owned it, we had some renters, and I never was pleased with the renters that we had. And basically, we didn't get much at all. Renting land is cheap, and I just didn't, for the headache and aggravation and losing control of some of your land that way. I just wasn't happy with that. So, and I've had plenty of people want to come by. Just had somebody just a week or two ago came by and said, "Can I rent your pasture?" And I said, "No, I'm not interested." And just when they put cattle out there, I've never had anybody that I thought did a bang up 100% good job. They neglected us because we were further away from wherever their facilities are, and I just didn't feel like that we were getting the representation of what we should have. And basically, I wasn't going to go out and chase their cows, mend the fences, and things like that. So that's where you're at. But that being said, that's where my status is on my farm right now. We've kind of closed it in just for us, and I like that. What have you guys been up to? I've been running my mouth here. let me know what's going on in y'all's world. Yeah, I don't need my own herd. Now I've had that before too. Well, I'd say my father-in-law had cattle down here when he was alive, and unfortunately, that was in my younger days, and I was having to chase cows back then at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's always on the coldest, wettest night. You'll get a call from somebody say, "You got a cow out down here. There's one of your cows out here on the highway," and we'd have to get out and mend the fence, get the cow back in, that sort of stuff. Not my cup of tea. And oh wow, so you're having a baby, are you, Ricky? Wow, that's great. Well, I hope you and your significant can't even say the word significant other are going to be. I'm happy for you. Do you know if it's a boy or a girl yet? Get you a little girl and play with Chris's girl. Hey, Kevin. Oh, Jackson. Oh, you're in Jacksonville, Florida, though. I started to say if you was in Jacksonville, North Carolina, you wasn't too far away. Well, you're still not too far away, Jacksonville, Florida. That's about a 5 hour. Yeah, about 5 hours from me right now. Well, I appreciate it, Pete, in 33. I'm glad you was able to say hello and stick around here. You can listen to us chat and see what we've got going on here in good old North Carolina and all around the world. But we're just sitting back and relaxing and chit chatting about what's going on in the farm and what's been going on with our life and everything. The wife's had me out. We've been out landscaping. We've done a lot of landscaping, which I'm gonna put some more videos of that up too. I've videoed it and just haven't had time to edit it. So y'all be prepared. I might put out 3 or 4 videos in the next week or so, along with my chats and everything else. So check them out if I do. I've got some where we're landscaping. You'll see me on my skid steer and my track hoe and my tool cat, and we've been landscaping and moving some, putting some shrubbery out. She's bought some shrubbery and then some trees. We've got some trees that she's got, so we're staying busy. Oh, you pick up Fitzgerald. I know where Fitzgerald is. Then on to St. Louis. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. That's good. Oh me, I don't know about the press. I think it's crazy right now on the political scene, uh, where we've got everybody lining up behind Trump on the Republican side. Uh, Trump's got the majority of the Republicans, regardless of what anybody thinks, as it stands right now. And then Biden looks like it's going to be Biden hiding again. Looks like they're going to stick him in the basement and not let him debate or anything else. They just want to have his body pushed out on to the podium and say, "Vote for me." I really don't understand the logic behind that. I mean, the man is not. He's not a presidential uh, capabilities. I think. I mean, he can't make a decision on it. He would have to have advisors. We're basically electing a select committee, I guess, for the Democratic side. I mean, we don't know who's running the show. It sure isn't Biden because Biden is stumbling and bumbling and mumbling. Uh, you know, he's definitely not. I mean, I don't care what party you're from. He's definitely not capable of running the country right now. I mean, you look at Joe Biden 20 years ago, look at video of him 20 years ago. I mean, he was, very capable of doing things and running things. But right now, he's not capable of doing anything. Um, Now, a lot of people still love Trump, and Trump's aging up pretty good too, although his mental faculties seem to be way better than Biden's. That's for certain. And he doesn't need anybody. I mean, he shoots from the hip. I mean, he doesn't even have a teleprompter out there half the time. Now, that's what a lot of people like about Trump is the fact that, you ask him a question, you're going to get an immediate answer. You ask Biden a question, he's going to mumble and jumble and bumble, and you don't know what you're going to get. And then they're going to wait for some advisor to escort him off so he won't have to answer a question. And that's pathetic. We need to be able to have transparency within the system and be able to talk to people. And different people have different mental capacities, and unfortunately, I think Biden's has passed him by. I don't care what anybody says. President Biden is not 100%, and he shows the signs of dementia pretty bad. I think. I mean, anybody that's been around anybody that's had dementia. My mother had it. I know how mom was in her later years, and it's very similar to what Joe Biden's going through right now. And it's just it's really pathetic as a as a person to see that happening to a person and somebody trying to maintain just maintain a lifestyle. I mean, I think most people saw, and that was a scary fall that he had the other day at the Air Force Academy. I mean, he looked like he could have hurt himself badly. I mean, it wasn't anything to laugh about at all. It was really, I mean, as a person, I mean, you don't see somebody get hurt like that. And he could have gotten hurt, and and he's not physically and mentally capable at this point, I think, to run the country. I mean, I don't care if he was a Republican and it was in that shape. I would say the same thing. I'm not saying this uh, politically as far as a party. I'm saying that as a person looking at him as as a person that should not be in charge of the country. Uh, I think we've got way more capable people out there. I mean, even Robert Kennedy Jr. They won't even let him. They're afraid to let him even talk or debate Biden because they're afraid the Democrats are going to say, "Hey, we would rather have him than Joe Biden," and they're scared to do that right now. I don't know. We'll see. It's interesting. I wish that they'd get a few more Democrats into the race to see what kind of uh, outfit they'd have. I don't understand why Gavin Newsom and some of these others don't say, "Hey, maybe we got a chance," and jump in there. I think they would have a chance, but who knows? We'll see. I'm not a big fan of Gavin Newsom, though. I'm going to just tell you that. But I don't like his pun. I mean, for what he's done in California for the past 4, 5, 6 years, I mean, it's been devastating to California. I mean, he's ruined that state. So he's definitely no shining a knight in shining armor, that's for sure. But he's definitely somebody that wants to be president. You know that. I mean, anybody and his brother knows that he wants to be president. We'll see. Yeah, it's just something. But on the other agendas and everything, what do you think? What's going on in the U.S.? I mean, interest rates are still up there high. Housing starts are have slowed to a crawl, and you know you can see inflation creep in with everything. Anybody that's bought anything in the past year or two, you know that inflation has kicked in. And I was looking at I don't know if I can find it. I had a friend that posted something on Facebook earlier, and it says, it was talking about build back better, Joe's slogan, and he says build nothing, better nothing, and uh, build back better, or better. And he said, and better, everything was nothing on the Biden side because he hadn't built anything. Nothing's back better, and definitely we're at a. I can't see anything that they've done in the past 2.5, 3 years that's been progressive and done something good for the country. That's my opinion. Oh, I know it. Cars are extremely high. I canceled. I was going to get a new one of those new Ford Lightnings, and I was on the list to get that, and I canceled that. I decided I've got this 2018, the one I'm in here, diesel. It's only got 60,000 miles on it. It's a 3-liter diesel, gets 32 miles to the gallon on the road, gets around town around 28. And I mean, I think that's fantastic. That's like an economical car, in my opinion, and real good. And it's got good towing capacity. It's got, I think, 12,000-pound tow capacity, so I can pull things with it. And I checked the specs on the electric, and I've been watching those. And I initially thought this was going to be pretty good. Well, initially I thought you could buy one for around 40,000, 45, 50,000. No, that's gone out the window. It's there. You're looking at 90 or 100,000, and I'm just not going to put that amount of money in it. They've gone up twice since I initially put in my deposit. They've gone up twice on the price of those cars or trucks, and the reports that I've seen is they're fine if you just want to drive it around like a car. You can get 300 miles on the range, but if you try to tow anything, I mean, you get nothing out of it. You get 100 to 150 miles probably max if you try to tow anything with it. Now it's got the strength; it'll tow, but it just sucks the juice out of it real quick. So if I like the other day, a couple of weeks ago, Jim and I took this truck and my dually down to my brother-in-law's down in Greer, South Carolina, which is about 100 miles away. And if we had taken an electric truck down there, we would have had to recharge it down there to make it back because we wouldn't have had enough juice. I mean, if I'd taken off at 100% capacity, say taking an empty trailer down there to pick up something, and then loaded something down there and brought it back, I would have had to stop and charge it somewhere on the way back. And that's really not acceptable. I mean, this truck gets, I mean, I can fill this up, a tank full. I can get 600 miles on it with a tank. That's what the gauge shows it, 620 miles to empty or something like that. And that that's that's pretty good. And considering an electric one would only get 300, and if you tow something, you're gonna get way less. Now I know you're gonna get way less mileage too on a diesel, but at least you got a decent capacity and everything. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, Walter. Yeah, I mean, that, and that's the Ford's the same way. They'll do, you can tow, if you tow like a camper, a fully loaded camper, you're only going to get about 100, a little over 100 miles, 110 miles, and you're going to have it recharged again. Well, how many people go camping and they only go 100 miles away? I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, if I still had my fifth wheel. I mean, if I took off camping, if I went to the mountains, that say like at Maggie Valley or say up in uh, Sevierville or up there around Dollywood or something like that in Blue Ridge. I mean, you're looking 150 miles away from here. I'd have to stop and charge it, especially climbing Black Mountain or one of the mountains going up. I'd have to stop and charge it halfway just to make it to the destination. And then I'd have to recharge it again wherever I got to. And then the same way on the way back, you'd have to stop halfway back to recharge your unit. So that wouldn't be good. And if I was going to the beach, which is about 250, I'll say 250 to 300 miles from here. I mean, I would have to stop twice maybe to keep one fully charged. I just don't think that's going to be a lifestyle that a lot of people are going to want. So that's my difference on where we're at with some of these electric vehicles. Now, if you're running around town, I mean, 90% of what I'm doing, it would probably be okay. But could I justify $100,000 to just be able to plug it in at my house? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, that kept bugging me. I said, I'm 72 years old. I mean, my life expectancy and this truck's life expectancy is probably equal right here. So I've got a truck that should outlast me. This truck should be good for Barbara after I'm gone. And why do I want to? Yeah, I'd be green. Well, I'm gonna stick to the green stuff that I can use around on the farm, and which I do like my electric lawnmower. I will tell you that. I've got a couple of these Ryobi lawnmowers, and I do like that. And I do like the fact that I just plug it in and it's good to go again the next day. And I don't have to add any gas. And that's a local convenience. That's sort of like a battery operated drill to me. Uh, I'm not trying to run these things way off, you know, and that's the difference. When I get to looking at the conveniences and get to thinking about what it would mean to what the convenience and the cost. Uh, when you're out on the road, I don't see where they're going to have convenience or cost efficiency on these electric vehicles. Not as they stand right now. No, I don't have a 72 inch. I've got the 56. Do they have a 72 inch Ryobi? I don't know that. I don't think they have one that big, do they, Jamie? I hadn't seen one. I've got the largest. I've got the what is it, 54 inch. I've got the 54 inch iDrive is what I've got. I don't think they have a 72 inch out yet. If they do, I haven't got it though. But the 54 inch is pretty good. I've seen a couple of these big trucks, but there again, Ricky, I just the big trucks that I've seen still don't have very much capacity. Uh, I think the key to some of these is if they come up with an electric hybrid on some of this. I mean, that would be the key to the diesel situation. I think if some of them would come up with an electric hybrid, whereas if they had like a little diesel generator that's on the back of these electric trucks, so they could run 1,000 miles and that sort of stuff, and then use the generator to charge that truck as it's going down the road. To me, that would be the ideal situation. I don't think running these full capacity electric to their drain down and then waiting hours on end to recharge them is the way to go. Yeah, no, I don't think so. You can double check. I think 54 inches as large as they go, Jamie. Yeah, but I think, I think we're going to see some different uh, applications, and I think seriously, I mean, I've seen the ones where they've got the swappable, some of the big equipment where they got swappable batteries, and that's one thing. But then you're going to have the cost of having two huge batteries involved, and you can have one charging while the other one's running. I mean, that concept has been around for years. I mean, I worked in a warehouse that did that, and we were swapping in. They were just big, you know, regular battery. I mean, the old they were just big, not dry cell batteries. What do you call them? Like marine batteries or whatever. That's what we were doing. We were swapping tow motors out like that, and they would run these electric tow motors, and that they would have one on the charger at all times, and then the next shift would come in, they'd swap out the battery and put that back on the charger and go again. And that's way some I've seen some concepts of charging stations and everything that's what they'll do in the future, but who knows? Well, yeah, the cost of replacing those batteries is humongous. The cost of, like Walter's saying, I mean, I've seen some videos of people coming in with these just the Chevy Bolt uh, or whatever. Then they come in and the battery's bad, and they said, well, yeah, the price of a new battery installed is $26,000. Well, you can go out and get you a new car for that almost. The price of the car wasn't at 30 something, and then you're going to have one thing, and then you're still going to have an old car. I mean, who wants that? I mean, unless they come up with a definitive system where they could where you can get like a uh, credit off of your old battery and then have it go toward that. I mean you'd have to have a substantial credit, but they'll have to devise some sort of system, I think, that's comparable to what we're doing now in vehicles. And I don't see I don't see people saying, "Well, we're just going to take this battery and dispose of it," because a lot of them have just got dead cells in them. There's going to have to be somebody that says, "We're going to refurbish this battery," and a refurbishing company, and give you credit for what is good out of your battery, and then you can swap things out and be uh, a little more a little more in line with what we do now. But these shops are going to be getting less maintenance out of an electric vehicle anyway, so they're going to try to make as much as they can when they can. So we're between a rock and a hard place. Yeah. Well, I know. I mean, Tesla's the car company, Ricky. You mean it's another Tesla truck company? I mean, Tesla, the car company, that's what Elon Musk owns. But uh, yeah, I've seen a lot of different uh, concept vehicles that some of the truck manufacturers have come out. Freightliners even got an electric vehicle, but I think just in my opinion, and I've often wondered about it because I've got a pretty good size generator that I use that I can charge my whole house with, and it's uh, it's got a small a small gas engine on it. But you can also implement some, and I've seen some that size that have the small diesel engine, and you could have a small diesel engine on a generator that would run efficient and could probably put out enough voltage and everything to keep that battery charged up. So when you do get back to your destination, that you won't have to charge all night long or 10 or 12 hours. But if you do, so be it. But I think that there's going to have to be a compromise between the different types of vehicle that we have out there. I think a hybrid vehicle is probably going to be one that would be a bigger winner as far as productivity and everything else would be. But you don't know. The infrastructure is not there yet. Okay, Edison Motor. Okay, yeah. Tesla's the car company. You're going to wake up, Ricky. Tesla's the car company that uh, uh, Elon Musk owns, and yeah, yeah. I think I have seen the one you're talking about, the Edison Motor Company, and I've seen uh, that Rivian. That's a truck. They're building pickup trucks, and there's a couple others that I've seen that do commercial type trucks. But everyone that I've seen has still got limited capacity as far as, uh, I mean, a fully loaded uh, 40,000 pound vehicle. I've yet to see one that, even the one that Tesla has put out, I've yet to see one that will get a very good range out of it. I mean, we'll see, and then charging it back up each day, and as it stands right now, unless you got the solar, a huge solar grid array at your place of business or whatever, you're going to be just buying back fossil fuel again. Hey, Chris, we got Chris and Ricky both in here, so we got both the Outcast guys. That's cool. Yeah, yeah, we're glad to get everybody in here, and we've been talking lately, Chris, Ricky and I, and Jamie, and some of us have been talking about, and some electric vehicles as opposed to the gas and diesel vehicles. And like I said, as it stands right now, and I was watching a video this morning. Stony Ridge he had one of those electric tractors, and I am not impressed with those yet either. I think it's Select Track or something like that it's called, and they're just it's a small 25 horsepower equivalent, and does not look like it does much at all. And I wasn't very impressed with it. Stony Ridge kind of makes it out to uh, uh, be better than Tractor Time with Tim. I saw his, and his assessment of it was not as good. I mean, he wasn't having as good a time with his as Stony Ridge was, but different strokes for different folks. And I'm glad to see technology improve. I always like seeing things get better. Uh, you know, and as we well, James, I'm like you. I'm never going to buy a big truck. I mean, like I said, when I made my decision to back out of my F-150 Ford uh, electric, I mean, me and I had a friend that also did the same. Uh, he kept seeing the price creep up, you know, from what they initially said they was going to come out with. The price went up and the performance went down. Uh-oh. It's telling me that my camera is getting all right, and I'm gonna have to. I guess I'm gonna have to plug up or shut up. And actually, I probably will shut up because I've got to maybe take a chance of uh, going to see my grandson. He's got one more graduation type thing. He's already graduated, but uh, uh, they're going to talk to. I mean, they're going to recognize the graduates at his church that are graduating, and we're probably going to run over to see that right quick. And uh, at his church, his mom and dad go to a church in Shelby, and we go to one here in Cherryville. But we're probably going to go do that, and probably need to get off of here and do some home things. Sun seems to be popping out a little bit. So, guys, I'm gonna probably get off of here right now. And well, thank you, Chris. Yeah, he's done real well. He was a straight A student from kindergarten all the way through the 12th grade. Never made anything but A's. So that is a huge accomplishment in my book. I never did that. I may have slid a couple of B's and C's, maybe a D in there. I don't know. But I wasn't straight A by no stretch of the imagination. But my grandson was. He was a straight A student from grade 1 all the way, or kindergarten, all the way up through the 12th grade, and ended in the top 10 of his class. Well, all kind of honors. So I'm real proud of him. I'm gonna brag on him right now. He's the only grandchild I have, and I'm very, very proud of him. Going to be going to NC State University in mechanical engineering next year. So I hope he'll do real well. Guys, I'll see you. I'm gonna head on out of here. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next week. And hopefully, I'm gonna get some videos out because I've shot the video. I just haven't edited it yet. I've got some of work around here on the farm, and it's just that by the time I film everything and get into the house later that afternoon, you know what happens? You sit down in the old recliner and you can't get back out of it. And that's what happens to me. All right, guys, I'll catch you around. See you next week for sure. And I'll talk to you later.